What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Motocross Action's First Ride video series. I'm Josh Mosman, assistant editor of the magazine. Today we're out at Glen Helen Raceway getting ready to ride the new 2020 Kawasaki KX450. So what's new for the 2020 model, you ask? Well, unfortunately, it was only one small change, and that came in the plastics. Instead of having the white number plates, now this is all green for 2020. I'm not going to say I'm against it. It's pretty cool to make my bike look like Eli Tomac's, but we were definitely hoping for a few more. With that being said, there was a lot of big changes on this bike in 2019. A few of the major ones were an electric start, a hydraulic clutch, which we liked, and this is actually the first time a Japanese brand has used a hydraulic clutch on their bike, so that was pretty cool. And also they switched out the air forks to the new Showa A-Kit spring forks. Other changes for the 2019 model include a whole new frame. With this frame, they were actually able to drop the engine just a little bit lower and actually help the center of gravity and get the weight just a little bit lower in the frame, which actually helped quite a bit coming into corners and getting that extra lean angle. They added the finger follower, valve actuation lever. They added a bigger rear brake rotor, a completely new exhaust, and swing arm. For 2020, Kawasaki put all of their emphasis on the new KX450. For that video, you can check out motocrossactionmag.com to check that all out. But for 2020, on the KX450, no major updates were made, but we're still going to get out there on the track today here at Glen Helen, compare it side to side with some of our other 2020 models that we already have. So stay tuned to this video to hear our first impressions feedback on the new 2020 KX450. What's up guys? We just got done riding here at Glen Helen Raceway. 5 o'clock now. We've been here since 7:30 in the morning, so either my boss is crazy or we really like motocross. It's been a good day. We had a lot of fun. We got to put in a lot of time on this KX450 and also compare it back to back with some other 2020 models. I really like the smooth power band. This bike is definitely down on power compared to some of the faster models. That doesn't mean your lap times will necessarily be totally different. The horsepower numbers may vary. This bike does get great traction out of the corners and it's actually easier to ride. A lot of our testers liked that about it. That was definitely a plus for me. For today I ran the sag at 104. We went 1 click stiffer on the compression on the forks. We also turned out the fork rebound 2 clicks, and we also went 1 click out on the rebound on the shock. So only a few minor changes, just tweaking it here and there. For me as a pro level rider, the forks were definitely too soft. Even with the changes we made, they were too soft for me today. This bike and this setting that it has right now is good, but depending on your speed, weight, you might want to go just a little bit stiffer in the spring and the forks. Last year for our 2019 model, we changed out the left side fork spring. So right now on the stock bikes, they have a 5.0 springs on each left and right fork. For last year, we wanted it just a little bit stiffer, but not a whole step up stiffer. So since they don't make a 5.1, we put a 5.2 spring in the left fork and then left the right fork stock at 5.0. So that gave us a happy medium of a 5.1 spring setup. So we like that on our 2019 model. I can imagine it will be the same on this bike as there was no major updates to the suspension. There was also a few other issues. The rear brake is really strong on this thing. That was one thing that I had to lower it right away. A lot of our other test riders were complaining about it. If they accidentally hit the rear brake coming down a hill or in a straightaway or anywhere on accident, it would totally throw them off just because it's so strong. Same thing with the KX450. Both of these have the bigger rear brake. Really touchy and definitely a little bit too touchy for my liking. Another issue was the bar mounts. Kawasaki has rubber bar mounts on their KX450 and 450 models, and both bikes, I didn't even crash, and the bar started to tweak to the right and to the left. So for me, I'm really finicky about this. If I tip my bike over and bend my bar mounts, that's the first thing I'm complaining about. So for these bikes to do that without even crashing, that was a big uh-oh for me. So I would recommend to anybody who buys a Kawasaki to get solid bar mounts. Other than that, the Kawasaki is the only brand that still runs the 7/8 handlebars. Feel just a little more thin and they're pretty rigid. For 2019, this bike definitely had a few problematic areas. We had issues with the clutch last year. It comes with a judder spring. To fix that, we took out the judder spring and actually added an 1/8 plate in the clutch. That just gave us a better feel, and it gave the clutch a little more surface area to grab harder and accelerate quicker. We also added 3 stiffer clutch springs to give it that same feeling. With the rear brake being so touchy, we shaved down the brake pads on the KX450 just to make it a little bit not so hard hitting when you get on the rear brake. We want it just to be more of a progressive feel. Other issues with the 2019 model was the plastic on the fork guards. We ride our bikes at Glen Helen a lot, and there's a lot of rocks out here, and we had all kinds of holes in our fork guards. That just says that the plastic is weak. And our last issue with the 2019 came with the chain guide and chain roller. The roller completely got destroyed and the chain guide wore out pretty quickly as well. But we added TM designs, chain guides, chain rollers, just to give it that durability. This bike is the lightest Japanese bike on the market. Really nice coming into corners, and we felt that our front tire could always hook a rut and just lean and go whenever you're ready. I really liked how nimble it was. Power is more in the mid to upper end, where in the 2018 and previous Kawasaki models, it really focused more on the torquey bottom end power. This bike, it's more in the mid to top end range, and I like it. Smooth coming out of corners and gets on going fast down the straightaways. Today we rode mostly in the stock map, but we also added our MXA map that we used on the 2019 model at the end of the day, and man, it was awesome. So with this bike, it has a little bit of a dip in the power band, so it gets on strong at the bottom, mid, and then it actually dips a little bit before it gets into the top end. Once we put the MXA map in there, it kind of filled that hole. So that custom map is available for you. You can check it out in the link below. That'll take you to our 2019 KX450 test, or you just check it out, motocrossactionmag.com, to find it there. Now to the suspension. This bike finished 4th in Motocross Action's 450 shootout last year, so with no major updates for 2020, we'll see how it stacks up against the other 2020 models. Some bikes have made big changes, some just little, so we're going to get them back to back, do our 450 shootout coming out here very soon, so we're excited to see how this bike ranks up against the others. Stay up to date with all of our latest bike tests, news, and reviews. Click motocrossactionmag.com, and also go over to our YouTube, click subscribe so you can stay up to date on our latest video releases. I'm Josh Mosman, and thanks for watching this video.